What is up, my fellow beer geeks? I'm back. Sorry for the delay between a couple of weeks. I actually had PRK eye surgery done, so that's what I'm going to blame the couple weeks of not reviewing beers on. So why don't we just jump right into it, though? Let's stop wasting time. I can't really see that well, but I got to drink some beer. So the beer I'm going to do in this video is kind of similar to the beer I did in the first video. The only difference is this one's a stout and that one was a porter. They are very similar, and I'm here to explain the differences and the similarities between the two. So first thing we're going to talk about is the porter. So porters began in the early 1700s in England. The main reason why it came about and became so popular was because the consumers' taste buds dramatically changed in that era for whatever reason. Essentially, the English, they were tired of drinking something that was, quickly brewed, that was very harsh, like a brown or a black malt. And then they didn't want something also that has been around for centuries, something that was aged, that was stale, that was really bitter, very hoppy. So they wanted to find something that was kind of right in the middle, something that was smooth, medium grain, it was well balanced. So now here's the kicker. Throughout the 1700s to the early 1800s, if a brewer made a pale stout or a brown stout, stout only meant a strong beer. So when brewers would make a porter beer and they'd call it a strong porter, they would call it a stout. So essentially back then, they were the same beer. I guess the only way they could actually define whether it be a porter or a stout would be, back then at least, to measure the water used to actually make the beer itself. So stouts use less water, essentially making the beer stronger. So back then, stouts were ultimately stronger than a porter. In today's porter and stouts, the major difference would be that porter uses malted barley and stout uses unmalted roasted barley. So without further ado, let's go ahead and introduce the beer that I'm going to be reviewing today. This bad boy right here is the Guinness Extra Stout. This recipe right here is the OG all the way from 1759 when Guinness started. So let me go ahead and give you a little bit of history about Guinness itself. Arthur Guinness is the man behind all the magic, behind all these wonderful beers from Guinness. He started, like I said, in 1759 in Dublin, Ireland. He started the St. James Gate Brewery, which is still open today. So I'm not good at math. That's a long time. It's still up and running. You can go there, take tours. Definitely on my bucket list is to go there and check that place out. In 1886, Guinness became a public company. At that point, they were selling 1.1 million barrels a year. And by 1914, 2.5 million. That's a lot of beer. That's a lot of freaking beer. Now, in 1997, Guinness merged with Grand Metropolitan to form Diageo. Now, you may have never heard of them, but I guarantee you drank something from them, whether it was Ciroc, Smirnoff, Captain Morgan, Don Julio, Johnny Walker. They own a lot of companies now, but Guinness falls under Diageo now. All right, that wraps up pretty much everything I can think of the history of Guinness. So without further ado, let's go ahead and open this bad boy up because I am thirsty. Yes, glassware. So for any stout, I would recommend a beer mug or a pint glass. So with my semi-decent, not fully 100% capable, perfect vision yet, let's go ahead and pour this. Cue the music. So first glance at the beer, obviously it's dark, just like a porter. It's got a very thick kind of look to it, like it looks very syrupy. The smell, it's very much like barley. They use, like I said, the unmalted roasted barley, but you can definitely get a whiff of that, and that's the Extra Stout in there. It's very strong beer. Okay, let's go ahead and give it a taste. Cheers. That's a good beer. It is. It really is. This is one of those beers where you need to have an acquired taste for it. It's not like your typical summer beer. This isn't something you want to go drink on a hot day after you get done mowing the lawn, but it's a good beer. Like I said, acquired taste, but it's a good beer. Food pairings. So what I would recommend with this kind of beer is seafood, specifically oysters. I've been told is really good with this beer. Spicy foods. It's kind of like that, like milk, where it's going to calm it down a little bit. And barbecue. Barbecue is also very good with the stout. I would recommend all 3 of those for this beer right here. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up this video here for today. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, do all that stuff the YouTubers tell you to do. I'm going to say, like I said in the last 2 videos, if you're going to drink, be safe, don't get hurt. Tune in next time for Drinking in the Barracks with Gurt. Cheers.